Welcome to another episode of In Depth with Academia. I'm Richard Price, founder and CEO of ACADEMIA.EDU, bringing you lively dives into the most intriguing new research from around the world. As always, I'll be presenting the findings neutrally. My goal is to help you explore and reflect, not to endorse or debate. Today we're tackling a paper by Isabela Vasiliu-Scraba titled Efectul RASHOMON și adevărul despre moartea martirului Mircea Vulcănescu. A fascinating mouthful, right? So what is this all about? At its core, Vasiliu-Scraba's paper examines a specific historical mystery, the circumstances surrounding the death of Mircea Vulcănescu, one of Romania's best-known intellectuals, a philosopher and economist, who died as a political prisoner after World War II. The core question here is, what is the real story behind Vulcănescu's death? And why do so many conflicting accounts exist? Why does it matter who gets to tell history's stories, and how does our understanding shift depending on the teller? And here's where the RASHOMON effect comes in. Ever seen Akira Kurosawa's classic film, RASHOMON? Basically, it's become a shorthand for events with wildly differing eyewitness versions. It's all about the fragmentation of truth. So, in this paper, Vasiliu-Scraba asks, is there a singular objective fact about what happened to Vulcănescu, or does the narrative splinter depending on who's telling it and, why they might want their version sunk in collective memory? Let me say, as I always do, I'm not taking sides. My job is to lay out what gets argued and discovered and leave you to ponder what it means for you and your worldview. So, let's get a bit more specific. What were the main findings, or arguments in this work? Vasiliu-Scraba combs through multiple sources, memoirs, official narratives, and oral histories. Some say Vulcănescu died after heroically sacrificing himself for a younger cellmate, lying on the cold cell floor so the younger man would survive. Others say that's basically a myth, and what really happened was a slow death from systematic mistreatment, neglect, beatings, and severe exposure to the cold during his political detention. The author showcases this swirl of perspectives and actually expands on the RASHOMON concept. She emphasizes that the heart of the problem isn't just the facts, but who gets to shape them. Which stories get boosted by official channels, which ones are spread through whispered recollections and survivor memories. In Romania, especially, there's the added twist of post-war and post-communist power struggles, where history gets rewritten and then, sometimes rewritten again. A quick side thought. I once watched RASHOMON on a grainy old VHS tape at a friend's house. So for a while I thought it was actually a horror movie because the tape quality was so bad, the faces looked bizarre. I guess that doesn't matter, but it's funny how even how you see something can change your memories of it. Perspective, right? So back on topic, the methods here are less about crunching data or running statistical models and more about critical comparison of sources. For example, Vasiliu-Scraba points out that different inmates, guards, and historians all offer pieces of the puzzle, but their recollections clash in subtle and not so subtle ways. There's the highly publicized official account, there's the family's pain, and then there are the co-prisoners' sometimes contradictory stories, plus new twists added in the contemporary era by internet debates and changing cultural politics. What does this all add up to for the listener, for you? You get a vivid reminder that history is rarely a finished project. The stories you read in textbooks, the commemorations you see online, and even, oral retellings from your own family might all be tracing back to, or even fighting against, one version or another. If you care about truth, about how societies grieve or honour their dead, or about how historical memory shapes our present, this kind of paper kind of nudges you to dig deeper, to ask whose voices are missing and what agendas might be steering the narratives you hear. Again, Vasiliu-Scraba isn't just telling you which take is correct, she's encouraging skepticism and self-reflection. Can we ever access the truth about a contested figure like Mircea Vulcănescu, or do we always have some RASHOMON in our understanding? And, as we wind this down, just remember that academic research is one way to approach big, thorny questions, not an oracle of perfect answers. What's powerful is how the process lets us open up, challenge what we think we know, and see how knowledge is built collaboratively, even sometimes chaotically. Thanks for listening to In Depth with Academia. If you're curious to read Vasiliu-Scraba's full paper, the links are on the site. Stay curious, challenge your versions of the story, and as always, keep learning. See you next time.